All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Levi Blue Show, where we talk about life, overcoming daily struggles, and everything in between. I am your host, Levi Blue. Tank, how you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Did you get situated over there?
Yeah, I had to move my chair a little bit. I was a little too low.
Too low?
Too low.
How low did you go?
Well, not that low. I might break something.
That was pretty good. Yeah. So today's topic's going to be pretty fun. I think it's going to be really fun. I think people are going to enjoy this one. We've had really serious episodes the last few weeks, and so this would be kind of lighten the mood a little bit, you know. We kind of hit him over the head with all these King James versions, you know. Now we can kind of slow it down and give him a little bit of a ESV or something. Oh, I'm just kidding. No, actually, today's topic is going to be really fun. It's called Movie Edition, seeing the good in all things. But before we get ahead of ourselves, how's your day been?
It's been all right.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, did you get your breakfast in today?
Sure did. It was pretty good.
Yeah?
Little eggs, little bacon, little sausage, little bit of hash browns, one biscuit, which I shouldn't have had, but...
Did you get the biscuit? Did you get the gravy?
I either need to have jelly or gravy on my biscuit. I didn't see no jelly, so yes, it was smothered with gravy.
He's like, there's a bear poop in the woods.
He said poop.
Can we say poop? Oh, we can say poop. Okay. Let me ask you this. This kind of goes along with our topic today. Did you go to the drive-thru as a kid?
Drive-through or drive-in?
Drive-in. I meant drive-in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, that was like one of the cool things to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Because there were so many drive-ins open, really, honestly, around between Tulsa, Broken Arrow, Muskogee, Pryor, and Wagner. We had one somewhere, but maybe not Wagner. Maybe it was Muskogee we would go to. But, yeah, there was like 4 or 5 within driving distance that we would go to regularly.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this. Where's my questions at? Would you rather watch a movie at home or in the movie theater?
At home.
Yeah. Is there a particular reasons why?
Well, I've got a really large TV on my wall and a pretty decent surround sound system, so it's pretty much like watching a movie in a movie theater. But it's just the comfort of my own recliner.
I agree.
You know?
Yes.
I'm in my own environment.
Yes.
If I want to wear shorts and no shirt, I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I got you.
Yeah. If my wife wants to get in her night clothes and watch a movie,
yeah,
we can get totally relaxed. We don't have to, you know. I mean, I'll take that back. My wife has worn her night clothes to the movie theater too. I mean, it ain't bad. It's like, you know, sweats and a t-shirt.
No, I got you. Yeah.
But yeah, I can be totally relaxed to be myself, and yeah, it's so much more enjoyable at my home.
Well, and when you gotta use the restroom, you can pause it.
Yeah, you don't miss any.
Yeah, because most of the time I just you know, hang on to it until it's time, until the movie's over.
Yep.
And you're like, get out of my way, I gotta go use the restroom.
Yeah, you're knocking people down trying to get out the door to get to the restroom first. Yeah, I totally get it.
Okay, so and then here's one I threw this in there late last night. If your life was made into a movie, what kind of movie would it be? Like what kind of genre of movie?
Probably an amusement park full of roller coasters.
Yeah, you're. Well,
it would be an amusement park because I feel like my life is amusing. Like
so it'd be a comedy.
It'd be a comedy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So the question becomes this. This is what hard.
He suckered me in.
Yes. Are you ready for this?
No, I'm not.
Is it gonna be? Well, you're gonna give me the cliche answer. Is it gonna be R? Or is it gonna be PG-13?
I would say a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Because I can't make sure that everyone in that movie set's going to be PG-13. Because I've got kids that would be involved in that movie.
Yeah.
And their tongues tend to express words that I don't today.
Yeah, it's difficult.
So I guess it would have to be R, because all it takes is one thing to make it a rated R movie.
That's true.
I would rather it be PG-13 or PG, but I'm pretty sure unless I get some fake kids and have a fake movie...
Yeah.
But I would want them in it if it's my life, my movie. Or
Or
am I wrong?
No, I got you. 100%. 100%.
Audience, what do you think?
I actually did a one time just years ago. I had like a list of people who would play each character of people in my life. Like I had certain people, like so I had like Meryl Streep playing my mom.
Oh, so I don't have to actually be in the movie?
No, yeah.
Oh, well then, of course, I mean, I look like The Rock.
I
would have Dwayne The Rock Johnson to be me.
This before,
Just kidding.
Oh, this is before or after wrestling?
It's probably before he ever even knew what sports were, because he was probably chunky then, being Samoan. But
Yeah.
I ain't ever seen him chunky since he was at the University of Miami.
Oh,
so.
yeah. He's always been big. He's been a, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Miami, yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. So, all right, we're going to go and bring this up. This is a weird, funky thing. I don't like it, but we're going to, all right, there we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into our
fun facts of the day
and useless information. All right, so you ready for this, Tank, for the first one that I have?
Yeah, fire away, bro.
All right. A motion picture's date all the way back to the 1890s when the first moving picture cameras were invented. However, the very first moving picture was actually a product of the 1880s. Did you know that?
Didn't realize it was that old.
I didn't either. I thought it was maybe a little bit. I thought at least well, I was gonna say 1900s, but I guess it would be like the 1890s, because I think even when Charlie Chaplin, but that was like what, the 1900s, because there was no sound. It was just
yeah, it was like 1920s, 30s, somewhere around there.
Yeah, there was no sound, because I think actually Howard Hughes was the first one who brought sound to film. I think so, or one of them, because he made a war movie.
Yep.
Yeah. So
and he freaked out over it in his. Didn't he have like a little movie studio thing in his? I think that was Howard Hughes. They had a little movie preview. What do they call those?
Like a theater.
Yeah, but it's a like screening room.
Yeah.
He had his own little screening room in his house.
Yeah.
And I think he freaked out over that or something.
Yeah,
he freaked out while he was in there.
I'm not sure about that. I know he had some issues and stuff, but that's beside the point. So that's all. That's the only one I had. Did you have a fun fact for that?
I got a fun fact. It's not really related to movies. Actually, I've probably done this a few times after I paid money to watch some movies that I'm like, why did I spend money on this?
Yeah.
But did you know that banging your head against a wall for an hour burns about 150 calories?
What? Okay. Oh, that was not it.
And he hit the wrong button.
Yeah,
I want to go bang my head against the wall for an hour.
Man, I hit the wrong one. That was lame. Okay, so read that one more time, just so that we got to understand what you just said.
Banging your head against a wall for an hour burns 150 calories.
How many calories have you burned today?
About 72 so far, because I'm at about 75 on the head wall banging.
Oh, lovely.
I could thank you for that.
Oh.
Ooh.
Bruh. All right, well, that's been our
fun facts of the day
and useless information. That's so great, isn't it?
I love it.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about movie edition, seeing the good in all things. So, do you think that's possible, seeing the good in like movies and whatnot? I gotta bring that over. That's so lame. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I was when you first mentioned the topic, I was sitting there going over some of like my favorite movies, my inspirational movies or whatever, if you will. And it's funny because when you're looking for it, you can see like the silver lining or the good in any movie, but you can also depict the bad. Like, oh, well, that started off good, but then this person over here did this. It's like, oh man, well, I don't know if I want to talk about that because he did good,
right?
But then because he did good and helped this person ended up, shooting them or something. But it's crazy because in the end result, you have to play it all the way through. You got to keep playing the tape and see, and you'll realize that the ending ended up coming out a blessing a lot of the times. It may have been sad, but it was still a blessing or a true silver lining in the whole thing. Do
you notice how a lot of times we tend to like the bad guy a lot better than we do the good guy? Why do you think that is? Is it because we maybe see something good in them, or the way they carry themselves, or they make the good guy seem like a pansy, like a flower?
It might be that, oh, he's a delicate little butterfly.
Yeah.
I think it's. I feel like sometimes it's a lot of what we see that he would be a strong leader, man. If he could harness that into good, wow,
that's good. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
that's speaking of bad guys. Those are the ones. Those are the ones we tend to fall in love with. Because I think because there is good in them, like you said, if you take the same characteristics and use it for something good, he would be a really good guy.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that is. And so I'm gonna go and pull my slides up here. And that's not it. That's the wrong one. Let me go ahead and fix that real quick. So hopefully I even have it on here. I don't think I have it on here. Yep, I need to fix that. We're gonna take a break and we'll be right back. All right, we're back. I don't know what happened, but I got it figured out, Tank.
About time.
Yeah.
I think we lost everybody. You lost me.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we got movie edition. Do you see the good in all things? And Tank, feel free to just cut me off if something I say triggers your mind. And so the first one is in biography type movies, I wonder if they have a God moment. Now we're talking about like secular. Because let's just be honest, there's a lot of movies that we, as Christians, we tend to still watch, and it's not faith-based. But do you still see God in those movies? I've seen a lot of mob movies, and I've also often wondered, and they're like based on true stories, where was their God moment? And that's why I put on there, I think about the crossroad moments. Like, there's a movie, I won't say the name of it, but the guy's in a church. He's actually in a Catholic church. And his son died, and but he's by himself a lot, and you kind of wonder, what was he thinking? Was he praying to God? Was he questioning, do I just go all in and just say, forget this, and I have nothing else to live for? Let's just be bad for whatever, blah blah blah. Or did he really kind of have those moments where he turns his life around? And obviously, in this movie, he doesn't turn his life around. He kind of goes even harder, because later in the movie, his mom dies, and so. With that happening, you kind of wonder, is there God in those moments? So that's my first thought. Do you have a thought of to go along with in biography type movies, that is there a God moment?
In some, I'm not going to say in all of them, but I would say the majority of them. If you look at it, you'll see. To me, I'll see somewhere where they have an epiphany, but it doesn't mean they follow through with it.
Yes.
Like I want to say names, but I'm not. Two brothers are trying to do good in their neighborhood, certain neighborhoods, they're trying to do good for them. And yet, before they execute somebody,
yeah,
they have a little ritual they do.
Yeah.
And it's actually a prayer. They actually say a prayer for them before they follow through with the deed that they feel like they were set out to do.
Yeah, I know what this is.
Yeah. So to me, it's like there's a God moment everywhere. Now, the problem is that even though there's a God moment, do I see it as a God moment, or do I see it as a moment for me to play God? And maybe I'm wrong saying that, but that's what I have a feeling that sometimes that's what it is. There's a God moment, but I utilize it improperly.
Yeah.
Even in movies, even in those.
Yeah, to what you're talking about, I think a lot of we want to. It's like those self-righteous justice moments. Well, he killed my grandma, so I'm going to go get vengeance on him.
Yes,
we think we're taking a wrong and making it right. Really, we just made another wrong.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so, obviously, as believers, what does the Lord always say? Revenge is mine, says the Lord.
Right.
And so, but that's what I think about. People tend to want to play God.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that's what you're saying.
Yeah, but if you really look, you'll see so many moments like that. That all it takes is for me to actually see it for what it really is, instead of seeing it from my flesh side. Even in those movies, and the outcome could have been a lot different. Outcome might have been the same, but their outcome, their total outcome might be a lot different. Now, we are talking about movies, and yes, we know it can be based off a true story or based off of some facts have been added to, this story is based off of a true events, but has been modified to fit this version, and whatever. You see those titles in front of movies all the time, and that's cool. But whenever it comes down to it, that I can see a God moment or a silver lining, in a lot of movies, but it may be just that much of a lining, or it may be that much of a lining. But at the end of the day, where does it stop? Is it just a section apart, and then it goes away because now I take over and I'm going to show you I'm playing God, or I'm in control of this and all that, and then hey, the God moment. Well, it was a fleeting thought, I guess. It was a God moment that you could have latched onto, but you didn't. But sometimes there are God moments that actually they stay.
Yeah,
and people follow down them, and then you see the righteous or the happy ending that happens through it, and they get out of the way, and the justice is served properly instead of selfishly.
Yeah, a lot of Western movies are like that. They play the justice thing, the avengeful thing. I will avenge my great grandma or whoever it is. You know what I mean?
It's, from 100 years ago that I didn't even know, but your dad is the one that killed her on that farm back in the day.
But in reality though, that's a real thing. Think about other countries. Their mom and pa was killed in war, and they're still hanging on to it. And then when they get older, they're going to avenge, or they have so much hate and animosity towards another country because of something else that happened.
Yeah.
And those are in movies as well. And we see a lot of movies like that. They tend to, like you said, play God. I had a kind of a rabbit trail to go along with is movies are kind of like music. They kind of do tell us a little bit about ourselves, but they also kind of can direct how we think and what we like. And, it's like if all you watch is documentaries, it's, you're going to have that kind of mindset. If all you watch is fighting movies, it's like you're going to have that kind of, that it's like because we try to, in our minds, we're walking down the street and we got this, you know what I mean? Because they make you feel good, or they make you don't go to a superhero, but when you go to a superhero, how does it make you feel afterwards? You want
a superhero.
You want to be a superhero, exactly.
Yeah.
You go to people go to a scary movie to be what? Scared. It's like you go to a comedy to laugh, and so those movies kind of play a part of who we are as people, just like music does. Does that make sense?
Perfect sense. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah. So it's funny you were saying that because a lot of times we'll even miss some of those moments like that are involved in a movie, maybe until after the fact.
Yeah.
Because we'll get wrapped up in wanting to be that person.
Oh yeah.
So in the movie, I mean, we can get totally
emotionally invested.
Invested into, oh my God, I want to be that fighter. I want to be that race car driver. I remember, I want to be that biker. I want to be that comedian because he's so funny, or I want to be that actor because he's so funny. Sometimes it's even the real person that we want to be. We don't want to be their character. We just want to be them. They are so good when they act, and they're so funny, and it's we can totally get caught up in that we'll miss the good in anything or the good in everything in movies that exists there.
Oh yeah.
The good out of it was that I want to be that person.
Well, what do movies do though? They get us emotionally involved. That's the whole point.
Right.
We get so emotionally involved. We're like, that's when the God moments. There's a TV show out there. I won't say what it is, but it was one that I was really into. Let's just say it has motorcycles in it. You tend to gravitate towards certain characters, and then you're like, and then when it ends, you're like, it's like your whole world ends. It's like, you know what I mean? Because you were so invested in that show, because you kind of wondered what's happening now. And there's a lot of God moments in that show. They actually make a lot of references, because you often wonder, did the director or the producer of the show have some kind of faith-based background? Because let me ask you this. Even when you was doing dirt, did you have a God moment? You have those moments where you thought about God, or did you reference God?
Plenty of times.
You see what I'm saying? And,
oh yeah. What's
that old phrase about in the military? There's no atheist in a foxhole. So it's kind of the same thing. You know what I mean? It's we all have those God moments, and we see a lot of God moments in those kind of movies, because when your back's against the wall, Oh God! Well, you just said his name. You know what I mean? And so yeah, but So I think a lot of those because about how those movies they draw us in. They keep us emotionally intact because every week I can't wait for the new episode. You know what I mean?
I know that's right.
You know, but that's real. So I'm gonna keep reading here. It says, and the answer is yes. By the way. Can we learn practical things in movies that don't talk about God?
No.
You say no? Oh.
You told me my answer was yes. I'm going against the grain.
The answer is yes. Because there's things that I've learned from secular movies that I think are just practical things. I heard on a movie one time, it says, you dance with the devil don't change, the devil changes you.
That's right.
You know, and that's real. And that was from a secular movie. And from the same secular movie, it talked about once you see something, you can't unsee it. It's like when you go into the unknown, the underworld, it consumes you. You know, it's hard to get out of that. You know what I mean? So, but those are practical things. And then I talked about on another episode where we talk about the secret to talking is listening. I learned that from a movie, a secular movie. And actually, what it was a guy talking to a young man and says, you need to listen to women because that's how you have good conversations with them. Because the secret to talking is listening. It's like you want to talk to that girl over there, and then just go listen to her because she's going to pick up on that. But to me, that was a practical thing that I try to use in my own life is, you know, to just listen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, it's... somebody might, you know, how can we, you know, the godly thing, they automatically think, oh, the Bible and church and verses and all that. No, actually, sometimes it's just everyday living.
Exactly.
Everyday experience. I can grab onto, see it, grab onto it, and then utilize that in my faith walk with God. Because it was probably God sent that to them, through them, to you, to utilize to get to Him a little better or a little differently or a little deeper or something, you know, or to reach someone else. And yeah, there's too many times like, what was that movie I was watching the other day?
The one with the person in it?
Yeah, had that one guy. I can't remember. Oh, I've got a brain stew. I didn't write it down either. Okay. We shall return to me at one point in time, and I'll remember. Back to you, Levi.
Back to me, Bob. Let's just move on. Go to the next one. Describe a movie that speaks to you that you've learned practical things in your life. And and I just gave you a few of the ones that I've liked that really spoke to me. And like I said, those were secular movies because they can teach us things. Let's not say a movie for a second. Think about the Beatitudes. When Jesus in the Sermon on the Mount, those are practical things that we can put in our lives. The Bible's full of practical things, but obviously we're talking about movies. You know what I mean? It's like there are plenty of movies out there that, you know, that apply to our lives that we can use. Now the thing is, are they pointing us to God, or are they just pointing us to worldly things? That becomes the question. You know what I mean? So and that can be tough. So I'm actually gonna go to the next slide here. Do you think God can use a non-Christian movie to reach someone? What do you think?
Yes.
Yes. Can you elaborate why you think yes?
Well, because one of the movies that I wrote down, it actually says, one of the lines in the movies is, you have to do the best with what God gave you. So it's referencing God, but it is not a Christian movie.
Yeah.
And I'll give y'all a hint by one of the lines out of it. They told us Vietnam was going to be a lot different than the United States of America. I got to see a lot of the countryside. We would take these real long walks. The good thing about Vietnam, there was always some place to go, and there was always something to do. I wish I could talk more like him, but his mom also told him that life's like a box of chocolates. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, they already figured it out when you said that. Yeah.
But, you know, so do I think that? Yes, because his mama told him that you got to do what best with what God gave you. Yeah. So if I listen to that and then maybe watch the movie and I hear some of those lines and the positiveness, like he, you know, in a horrible place.
Yeah.
But he saw the good.
Yeah.
We get long walks and pretty scenery. Like that's like the very that's a great perspective, buddy, because
it's a war.
Yeah, but to hear that, yes, I do think that a non-Christian movie has God in it, and God can be seen through it.
Yeah,
just based off that one movie that I'm not saying the name of.
Well, yeah, there's plenty that we could use.
He's a runner, though.
And actually, that movie is a comedy, if you didn't know that.
Yeah.
But you take a fictional character and put him in a non-fictional environment of true actual events, of every true actual event from the time of, I think, the 40 or the 50s all the way up until the 70s.
Yeah.
And that's a, yeah.
That may not have happened how it was in the movie. That stuff happened. That's not, that war did happen.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
But to see the comedic side or whatever that was, where he, his open-mindedness was, there was always some place to go and always something to do.
Yeah.
So to me, that was God touching me to see that, but see it in the light that I saw it in myself.
Yeah. Well, you saw it from the lens of somebody who they tried to say was slow. You know what I mean? They tried to say he was X, Y, Z, but to see from his lens, I mean, he met the president again, and he got to
drink 15 Dr.
Peppers, a shrimp boat captain, all kinds of things. Which it really is a good historical type movie, but it's a comedy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And so that movie couldn't have been anyone else to do that movie.
No, not at all.
It was before its time. Really, it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Let's keep reading. Are there God references in movies that aren't necessarily faith-based movies? And we just kind of talked about that. You have another one I know you want to share out, because I actually glanced at your paper when we were putting this together before we started. And go ahead and read that other one. It was that one right there. Yeah, that one's a good one. Because I think I have some stuff to add to that.
All right, I'm going to write down this, and then facing adversity and set up for failure, a coach sets out to bring players together, even though it may cost him everything if he fails. He sees human, not race, and looks for the good, regardless of ethnicity, and puts a winning team together. In the process, the players look beyond race as well, get to know each other, and come together in unity and break the barrier of race down.
Well, while you're reading that, this is what I gathered from it. He's a coach. He got hired to do what? To win football games. That's the whole point.
Right.
And so he says, I don't care if you're. There's another movie I like. It's a baseball movie. He says, I don't care if he's black, white, green, purple, or striped like a zebra. If he can play baseball, then we're going to play baseball.
Right.
And so that's the point. He said, I'm here to win football games. I'm here to win basketball games, or whatever the sport is. And that's what I took from that coach, is that he also not only was teaching them how to play football, teach them how to be men.
Yeah, and that's where I was going to read these lines right here.
Yeah.
It's a little long, but they were in a dog fight, and the coach says, "It's all right. We're in a fight. Your boys are doing all you can do. Anybody can see that, win or lose. We're going to walk out of this stadium tonight with our heads held high. Do your best. That's all anybody can ask for you." And one of his star defensive players says, "No, it ain't, coach. With all due respect, you demanded more of us. You demanded perfection. Now, I ain't saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not, and I ain't never going to be. None of us are. But we have won every single game we have played till now, so this team is perfect. We stepped out on that field that way tonight, and if it's all the same to you, coach, that's how we want to leave it." Yeah, I left off the coach's name, even though he said it.
Yeah.
And then the assistant coach who got the job taken from him, who came back to be the assistant coach, he says, "Yeah, I hope you boys have learned as much from me this year as I've learned from you. You've taught this city how to trust the soul of a man rather than the look of him, and I guess it's about time I joined the club." So you ask, in a non-Christian movie have faith-based values, and to me, that does.
Oh, yeah.
That's 100%. Exactly what that says. Is
100%.
That, it's the heart. What is God? Where does God judge us at? He judges our heart. He wants our heart. He wants our heart to be set on Him. Mm-hmm. So if I'm looking at your heart like this coach did, he's wanting your heart to be set on unity, teammanship, camaraderie, love, compassion, integrity, perfectness, as close as you can get. And he brought 11 guys, probably about 16 guys total, but 11 guys together that were perfect for one full season. And in that process, they were perfect as a unit. White, black, red, green, purple, yellow, it didn't matter. They became friends, they formed bonds, and that's godly.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, he took individuals who, from the outside looking in, they were like, oh, this person's this way and this person's that way. And then he literally forced them to be around each other, to learn about each other. You tell me 2 good things about this guy. You tell me 4 good things about this guy, blah, blah, blah. And so he really kind of put them outside their box so that they could learn something about each other. Because during that time frame, society was saying, oh, they're only this way or they're only that way or X, Y, Z. You know what I mean? And it's like, but at the end of the day, I just really like that, he was hired for a job, and we're going to win football games. At the same time, we're also going to get to know each other. What a great time. But also shows that even during times of adversity, you can still overcome. And that's what that player was saying. That player was saying that, we've been through some trouble, and we're going to make it through this trouble now. You know what I mean? And so,
right.
Yeah. But go ahead. You had a thought there.
Well, it's just a true action of faith. You demanded perfection. We've been perfect up to this point. Our faith is going to prove, because we're going to rely on faith, not fear that we can't, but faith and courage that we can, and we're going to get through together.
Yes.
Faith. It's what you asked. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's like crazy how I didn't know you were going to ask that question, but yet that one, it's just, I don't know. It's just God.
No, that's good.
It's just God.
Amen. Let's hit the next one. I think I guess that's it. Oh, that was it.
That was it. Oh, okay. Well, let me go ahead. I got you another one.
Yeah, go ahead and give me another one then.
Yeah, so I got some about man with a mental disorder has a change of perspective and starts seeing things in a different light. Instead of getting worked up, he sees the silver lining. Even when he is lied to by the woman he has fallen in love with, he sees what her intent truly was and confesses his love for her. And one of the lines in there is, if clouds are blocking the sun, there will always be a silver lining that reminds me to keep on trying. Because the clouds don't block the sun forever, right? Sun's going to come back out, right?
Yeah.
In the words of Annie, the sun will come out
tomorrow.
So you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Anyway, that being said, is that the world will break your heart 10 ways to Sunday.
Yeah.
That's guaranteed. I can't begin to explain that or the craziness inside myself and everyone else, but guess what? Sunday's my favorite day again. I think of what everyone did for me, and I feel like a very lucky guy. There's also a movie line off of that movie. So that really, what is Sunday? You preached about that once, don't let my Friday.
Oh, yeah. It may look like Friday, but Sunday's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I preached it on a Wednesday.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yep. So that's why I wrote that line down, because, man, that really, that hit different, making me think of Sunday. And maybe it hit different because of that Wednesday night sermon that you had that we went over. But I was like, that was God speaking to me through this movie, which is one of my favorite movies. I might have said part of the name of it when I said that he sees the silver lining. Yeah,
I got it. As soon as you said that, I already knew.
But yeah, man, so it's good stuff.
You talked about faith. There's a movie I like. And actually, I remember there was I won't say that. They talk about faith. Imagine losing a loved one. So in this movie, it's a family where a guy loses his wife, and then a natural disaster, if you will, or aliens beside that happens. And I know I had to kind of say, I can't say natural disaster, but let's just say a world event happens, and within that world event, he begins to get his faith back. Does that make sense? He never really lost it. He just kind of put it down.
Shelf.
Yeah, put it down for a moment. And the thing was, he was a priest. He was a man of God. He believed in God, and then all of a sudden, he allowed a death, which we're humans. We allow, and when something like that happens unexpectedly, we tend to play the blame game. You know, God, why'd you let this happen? What's cool about the movie is that he thinks back to his wife's death, and she kept saying little bitty lines that he would see in the future, or you know, he would, like in the present, he would be like, I remember she said that. He'd have these little setback moments. He'd think about it, and at the end of the movie, he hears this last little line, and she tells him to see. You need to see. And he began to see what was in front of him, began to see that he had lost his faith. He began to see. So it's kind of like in that moment as she was dying, she knew that he was going to go through all this turmoil and lose his faith. And at the end of the movie, after the bad guys they die, actually there's a part in the movie where there's a cross on the wall, but it's actually gone, but you can see the shadow of it like dirt. Yep. You know, like dirt. I know you already know what movie I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
And so, but at the end of the movie, you see that cross again, and he's in the bathroom and he's straightening up his collar.
Yep.
You know, and so, but I like that movie how it's just it's a modern family living in a country town where a tragedy happens, and you see it from their perspective. You know, but how does he overcome adversity? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Our listeners are like, I already know what that movie is. Well, if you know what it is, comment below.
Swing away if you think you know what that movie is.
There it is.
Got him. Yeah, so, you know, one of my favorite movies is by someone, you know, no longer here. And it's funny because the movie actually, there is some truth behind it for him.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but I got to get over here.
Does it pertain to Butterfly? At one scene in the movie?
How'd you know that?
Man, because I think we talked about it before a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead, read it. They don't know. They're still listening. They don't know yet.
Yeah, so it involves a man with suicidal tendencies, suicidal thoughts, and he's at a mental institution. He becomes a doctor who treats his patients with humor, opens a clinic and treats patients regardless of medical insurance, and also does comedy skits for them. Facing tragedy when his spouse, co-worker, is murdered by a patient, he turns to God and asks why. He was shown a sign in the form of a butterfly landing on his coat and his medical bag, and it reminded him that his spouse always wished she were a caterpillar and could turn into a butterfly. From that day forward, instead of giving up, he dedicated his work to her memory. See what no one else sees. See what everyone chooses not to see, out of fear, conformity, or laziness. See the whole world anew each day. That's like amazing. And that I've got another one that I'll say in a second, but that right there was just reading over that and then seeing that line in the movie. I'm like, man, that's like on point. You know, if I hang on, you know, like Pastor talks about, keep our past in the rear view. You glance up, say, yep, not going that direction. I'm going to keep moving this way. Every day I wake up is a new day. Yeah. What am I doing? I was just sharing with a coworker yesterday, and I said, look, dude, I said, we're all going to stumble. We're all going to fall. We're all going to be a little short. It's like, God ain't trying to ask us to be perfect. He wants us to be, but he knows we're not. So what he does is he wants to push us, encourage us daily, every day. Not, hey, I'm encouraging you today, then you got the next 7 days to figure it out. No, every day he encourages us to maybe be just a little bit better than we were the day before. Yeah. You know, maybe I did 5 sinful things yesterday. Today, if I can only do 4, praise God, I'm winning. Yeah. You know, I've done better today than yesterday, and that's what it is. Every day is new. How am I going to start off? And it was funny because it's a sad, happy, sad movie for multiple reasons, but it's also a happy movie, but also to see and to think about how many times God, why? Why this again, God? Because you keep making choices that land you this way, Keith. You know, Tank, if you would stop, this wouldn't keep happening. You know, face me, seek me, and apply a little bit of humility in your life and say, okay, look, I need your help. Help me, God.
Wow, that's good.
Things would be different. And they are today. But the last one is just, to me, it hit me, and I was like, man, that's a great perspective. I wanted to become a doctor so I could serve others. And because of that, I've lost everything, but I've also gained everything. I was like, wow. I don't know that I ever even picked up on that line in that movie before.
I don't either.
But man, when it hit me, I'm like, that is total, surrender. Like he totally surrendered. Was fighting with anyone and everyone at the medical school. They all were trying to disbar him, say, you're not going to make it. We're going to pull your license. You're never going to graduate. From not graduating to end up losing his the practice that he was started illegally, all that. And honestly, it's another dose of faith. He kept pushing forward, faith in what he believed in. And even though he was going to lose everything, which was, I believe, ultimately his other half, who was the nurse with him, he gained everything by the newfound, his insides, his heart. His heart was full, because of humility, integrity, love, and compassion. And there wasn't nothing, that was not no faith-based movie, man, but that was a faith-based film. If you pick up what I'm laying down, that film has a lot of encouragement to make sure my faith stays strong in life, but also in God, in the path I'm going. Because had he not asked God why, and then seen the sign from God, it might look a little different to us. But to me, because of that, all of this tells me he was seeking God the whole time. And that's why he kept continuing to be blessed with graduating, with not getting kicked out of school, with getting that practice in the middle of the woods where he wanted to in West Virginia or wherever it was.
Yeah, I remember.
Continuing to see the silver lining in that butterfly, that he was going to continue to do the practice in her name, because she showed up when he asked for God's help. He sought God's help, and bam, she showed up in the form of that butterfly on his coat, in his medical coat, and his medical bag. God said, she's right here. And he said, that's it, I'm doing it for her.
A lot of people tend to forget that adversity is supposed to push us towards God, not away from God.
Yes.
That's what he was, and that with that butterfly, that shows, and butterfly represents new life.
Amen.
And so he had to keep pushing forward regardless of what's happening around him. I got to be careful how I say this. I think about how he was going against the norm. The doctors were like, we're not going to do that. That's silly. That's ridiculous. You're not going to do that. This is, for lack of a better term, it's blasphemy, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For real.
And he even started his own practice. You could even say, someone would say, who gives you that authority? It's what they were saying, basically saying to him. They were kind of shut him down.
Yeah, it's funny because, you saying that, and it's like, they were like, yeah, you are totally going against. Like it reminds you of the Pharisees back there. You're totally going against law.
Yeah.
But in a sense, yes, he was. At the same time, just because he was different, don't make it wrong.
Yeah.
Just makes it different.
What's that movie? It makes me think about what you just said. It's a war movie, and he said that with the world falling apart, I don't see nothing wrong with it trying to put a little bit back together. It's a war movie. It's about a young man who didn't want to carry a firearm. World War II movie. Anyways, we can talk about it later. Yeah,
because you got me.
Yeah, but it's really good but I like that line because the world is falling apart, but let's put some good back into it. And that's what his whole point was. But that's what I think about. Even with the movie you're talking about, he was just trying to bring some laughter into things, trying to bring some uplifting people, because people tend to heal better when there's laughter, when they're feeling good about themselves.
Right.
Excuse me. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
If it's all because doctors come in and go, you're going to die tomorrow, XYZ, sign this paper.
Yeah.
It's like, no, hold on. You don't know my God. You know what I mean? I rebuke all that in Jesus' name. I follow God's report. Yeah, you may have went to school and you studied, and I thank God for doctors. But at the end of the day, my Bible says that God has the final say.
That's right.
And so, but, with this doctor or this, I guess he did go to doctor school. He did graduate with,
yes, he did.
with a gown that, anyways, we won't talk about that.
Literally with a gown.
Just a gown, yeah. But yeah, that's a really good movie because what he was doing is just, he was going against the norm, but he was trying to put some good into it. Because going to the hospital isn't fun.
Right.
And, it's like he was dressing up as a clown, or he dressed up as he took the little beaker thing and put it
on his nose.
Yeah. It's like, that's not even the same thing,
Yeah.
So, did you have something before we go to our break?
Well, no, I'm good for right now. I was just going to say that, yeah, it's funny when we did this, I was thinking about, should I go all faith-based movies? Cause I'm sure they're not going to get us, but the Kendrick Brothers productions, I watch like all their movies, most of them I just really like, but I was like, man, I'm not sure if we want to go that route, because we can bring God into this automatically, because he's right here with us,
Oh, yeah.
So we can bring, let's look for God moments in the movies. And it's kind of funny because in your slideshow, that's what it talks about. Can there be a God moment in a non-Christian movie? And I'm like, well, that's all I wrote about pretty much, man, is I see the God. I see the silver lining of God shining through the moments in those. So that's just in myself pretty cool to see. So I'm just sharing that with y'all to say, hey, don't get yourself wrapped up into the wanting to be the hero or the villain. Sometimes, also look at the whole storyline. You might be surprised what you take away from a movie that you just watched, other than the laughter or the scare or the I'm Hulk Hogan now or something. There might be a storyline in there that tweaks your faith or tickles your faith a little bit.
Well, think about every superhero movie. It's funny how people like superhero movies, but they have a hard time believing in God. Yeah. But you'll believe into a guy who
that guy that wears tights and can see through 16 tons of steel and shoot lasers out his eyes.
Yeah. It makes, or even like, you got like these medieval type movies, like where they're 3-hour long movies. We won't get into that. But you see my point though. Yeah. But there's always two agendas. There's a good one and a bad one. Why is the Bible hard to believe? You know what I mean? So, because there's a good one and a bad one. But here's the cool thing. The good guy in the Bible dies for the bad guy.
That's right.
Because that's what he did. You know what I mean? But I had a thought with that about the good guy and the bad guy. It's with the two agendas, and I'm trying to remember where I went with that. Lord, bring it back. Hopefully I'll remember. We'll go to break in a minute. I'll remember. But yeah, you have a thought? You look like you're looking at my soul.
I'm thinking. Does that make me the bad guy?
No,
I was just thinking about it. It is funny, to I don't know. Let's just go to break.
All right. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to break. I can't remember what it was. All right, we'll be right back. All right, good. We're back, everybody. Sorry for that weird intro or how we left off. Actually, I do remember what we talked about before. I was going to share real quick. So what I was going to say was, before I said that in the Bible, the good guy died for the bad guy, what I was going to say was the bad guy, something happened to the bad guy, and that's why he tends to act the way he acts. He wants to get revenge on something, or he's just hurt, because hurting people do what? They hurt people.
Hurt people.
Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and play this game. I hope you guys are ready for this. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. Now it's time for
Game of the Day.
Game of the Day. It's called Finish That Phrase. I have no idea what this. I had my wife create. I know the game, but I don't know the questions, the answers. Zero. Promise on God, everything. So Tank and I are going to do this together. So I guess when I'll ask the question, I'll give you a chance to answer it first, and then I'll answer it, and then we'll show the answer. Does that make sense?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to him. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. Get our timer going. All right, you ready for this? Let's go to the next one. If it'll work. Hold on. There it goes. Okay. All right, finish that phrase. Ah, yes. The past can hurt, but you either can run from it or blank. What do you think that is?
Fight.
Fight? Let's do it again. Let's read it again. Ah, yes. The past can hurt, but you can either run from it or blank. You know what I'm going to say?
You can face it.
That's probably the answer, but what movie do you think it's from? I think it's from The Lion King. Remember the monkey?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, all right, let's see what it is. Here, let's do our... The Lion King. Learn, but you said that though. You said learn from it, or you said face it.
Yeah, so you win because you got it on the spot, and I said face it, not learn from it. You win, I lose.
Yeah, we don't have that no more. All right, let's go to the next one. Finish that phrase. The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to blank and be blank in return. I have no idea, and I'm a movie person. What do you think that is? Here's a look at it.
The greatest thing you'll ever learn is just to
blank.
Live and be kind in return.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. We'll just go to love and loved in return.
I was close.
Moulin Rouge. No, I never even seen that. That's.
I have seen that.
Bruh.
Actually, a good movie.
I've never seen it. I remember the song. No.
Lady, I'm alive.
Okay, all right, go to the next one. Here we go. That was stupid. All right, finish that phrase. Blast this Christmas music. It's triumphant and thoughtful. That's what it is. Triumphant and thoughtful.
Because you know the movie because it's the Grinch. It's no fair.
Is it? Joyful and triumph. I said it backwards.
Yeah. I'm calling Sarah. She snuck that one in because she knew you would get it because that's one of your favorite movies.
Oh, is that it? Oh, that's lame. That was it.
She only did 3?
Yeah.
Oh, you win. No, we tied.
We tied because I only got 1.
Woo!
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Well, good for you, pal. Oh. All right. Well, that has been our. Let's go back. Now it's time for
Game of the Day.
All right, game of the day. Did you like that one though?
That was cool.
We just need to make it longer. That was not long enough.
No, but man,
We need a buzzer. I need like a little meh.
That's
Not a buzzard.
that's yeah. I'm sure we could tweak it a little bit longer or something, or maybe go a different route.
Just as long as we're not tweaking.
Yes, hopefully not.
I'm just playing. All right. So, well, thank you everybody for watching today's show. My name is your host, Levi Blue. I had a good time. I think today's episode was pretty good. I thought we said movies that people really love. So if you know the movies that we talked about, comment below. And make sure you like and subscribe and share this video. Comment on this video and put future topics that you want us to talk about. That would be great because I will use them. And Tank, do you have any closing thoughts for this episode?
Yeah, practice mindfulness. Practice gratitude. Make time for yourself. Be kind to yourself. As always, stay blessed.
Amen. Live and God bless. See y'all next time.